Hello and happy Monday. Hope you, lost my camera there for a moment. Thought I was being real clever with that setup and it did not work. I hope you're having a fabulous Monday so far. And we have extra curls going on today. So I thought we'd do a little share and tell about why I am so passionate about this work. If you are new to my world, welcome. And this is my shirt for today. I love the shirt. I try not to obsess about the inappropriate apostrophe there because I like the vibe. But so I used to be, once upon a time, a wedding photographer. And I was very, very passionate about that work. I really, really loved it. And I was really good at it. And I just really loved chasing these moments. And, I had been doing other kinds of photography before that. And I was primarily doing like food photography and stuff. And then I had somebody give me some tough love who was actually with weddings, was actually the wedding photographer from my first wedding. And we'll come full circle on that too. So yeah, I sought out this particular photographer because they were photojournalists when nobody was doing photojournalism, really. It was, photojournalism was just really reserved for newspapers and documenting the world's events and stuff like that. And at that point in time, wedding photography was like the uber cheesy 80s like looking stuff. And this was in 2000. And it still looked like that for the most part. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. I don't like it. And I knew what I wanted. And the story got long. But anyhow, there's a point to it. Photography was by far my biggest investment in that wedding. And it was worth every penny because he was incredible at what he did. And he went on to become my mentor. So I went and photographed with him for a year. I spent every weekend working for free, sweat equity, as we call it. And worked with him for free every weekend. He just invited me out. He's like, you're people. You need to be doing work with people, not photographing food. Even though I do still love photographing food, just for the record. But we need more people doing this work. And I was like, okay. And so I came out to the first time to a wedding and I was just like instantly hooked. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. Chasing those little moments and like really the opportunity to show people how incredible their connections were between each other. And so that really became my primary MO. That was my purpose, was like, what I would say is finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Okay? So that's where, where we connect with other people, like the way that somebody looks at someone or that little like nose scrunch. If you've been in for a session, I'm a big sucker for a nose scrunch because to me that is such a personality thing. And ultimately, I've been through very many different iterations of my business and different focuses over the years. But ultimately, it all comes down to my gift is storytelling, and that drives me to create the way that I create. Because my goal is for you to just see yourself reflected back to yourself in the most authentic and wonderful way. That's just truly you. And that's why I don't shoot in a cookie cutter kind of style, because it really is based on pulling those things out of you. And so in 2016, I had started shooting weddings in 2005. And then 2016, I'd been in business with my first husband. And if you don't know this about me, if you've dug around on my website, it's talked about, but I don't necessarily lead with it all the time in here. But my and business partner unexpectedly passed away from a brain aneurysm, out of nowhere. No warning, no nothing. So in an instant, my whole life changed. My existence changed, my identity changed. And something that not everybody experiences when they are widowed is like my business changed like overnight, and I had to shift. I went and shot weddings for a while, but it was too hard for me to do that. I only cried in the bushes once. But it was too hard for me to do that and feel like I could 100% give my clients what they deserved. And so I knew I had to find a different way. So I ended up, I put myself on sabbatical because I was no good to anybody at this moment in time. Not very good to myself either. And I just started making big choices for myself to move the needle. So I went and traveled on sabbatical around Europe by myself so I could figure out who the fuck I was at that point, because I was not the same person that I had been, and I didn't know what I was going to do next. And the funny thing is I did not end up in boudoir right away. I came back from that, and I learned a lot about myself, and I just shot for myself for almost a year. And that really gave me a different perspective on things, because it was just different. It was not something that I made a regular habit of doing before, personal projects and stuff, which is like now definitely part of something that I do in my life and in my work. So then, okay, I come back from sabbatical and I'm like restarting my business. I slapped my name on it. I'm like, Betsy McCue, it's mine. And I needed to like own that space for myself. So I started doing primarily branding and life documentaries. So life documentaries is like a day in the life approach to family sessions or with couples. I've done for solo people too. They're fun. And basically we're like taking a little slice of your life, and we're just like, and again, it's like that, finding the extraordinary in the ordinary moments. And a lot of that sprung from, obviously my work in weddings. But when I was traveling, I was doing a lot of street photography. And for me, just finding those little gems of like things that people don't pay any attention to, or think anything about. And I will say that, like, you know, some people get it when they look at my street photography photos, and other people are like, why the fuck are you taking a picture of that? Which was really entertaining, actually, when you're walking down the street and people are like looking like, what is she looking at and actually taking a photo of? So, yeah, I'm enamored with that stuff. So that is kind of where that came into play. And I took a lot of these, I was going to say life lessons, but it sounds like I'm being punished, which I didn't feel like. Well, I might have at one point felt like I was being punished or something. But all of these things that I went through, and in rebuilding myself and finding my voice and finding myself again, and my purpose and all of these things, a lot of those things I took and I brought into my client processes. And it's really about like grounding yourself in yourself. And see, this was a very long lead into why I'm passionate about this, but you have to know the whole story in order to really get it, because it just sounds like I just made up something, and I didn't. This is legit shit that I've used in my life, and I like to share with my clients, because I'm a sharer. It's how I roll. So a lot of these things are tools that I use, things that you experience in your client experience here. I brought that into like the life documentaries and into the branding, and also with branding, you know, I had in my previous life I had worked in marketing and publication. So I like bringing the like why. I have a lot of questions. If you worked with me, you know I have a lot of questions. But that's how I get to give you things that matter and are meaningful. So I brought a lot of that knowledge into those areas. Then fast forward to the next year, which was 2018. And she's in this group, and I always love to give her mad props, because this is not the first time something like this happened in my business. And so there have been many times that clients have inspired me. It happens all the time. And sometimes when people ask me to do things, I take a pause because sometimes they're seeing something maybe in what I do that maybe I'm not seeing. For example, before this moment, I had it happen with like photographing and documenting in that day in the lifestyle, like senior dogs and their families and capturing all those details. Like if they were kind of going on the decline, I know I'm a little bit dark, sorry, but I can hang in the weird space, which is a great asset for me doing the vulnerable work that we do here sometimes. So that was another example like that. And then at this point in time, I had this gal, Kathy, who's in here, and she saw my work and she saw something in it. I didn't have any boudoir photos on my website, and she saw something in it that resonated with her. And she's like, hey, I really want to do this type of session. I'm, kind of going through some changes in my life and et cetera. And I think this is really something I want to do to help with that. And I think you're my person. And I was like, I don't have anything to show you, but okay, like, okay, let me think on it for a second. And I came back and I was like, no, I'd really love to do this. Like, if you're willing to like work with me and like in a space that I haven't really worked in before. I'm like, granted, I have photographed thousands of women, working in weddings and stuff, but, she's like, yeah, let's do it. And I was immediately hooked. And it was the same feeling that I had the first time I went and shot a wedding with my mentor, Ron. And so then I was just so wowed and inspired by what her takeaways were. And we very much collaborated together on this. And it was really great. And I had a blast and she had fun and we got these amazing images and I just really fell in love with it. So, that was kind of the start of it. Then I started to develop a client process, like more an involved client process for this, because I'm like, wow, like this has a lot of potential with people learning a lot about themselves and really deeply appreciating themselves. And that's what got me really excited. Like, granted, I mean, you've heard me say before, probably, and I'm like, you know what, like this is more than pretty pictures, like what we do here. It's more than just like, I want a nice picture of my ass. Nothing wrong with that because I'm still going to give you a banging picture of your butt. But I hope that that's not the primary reason that you're here with me for what we do here. Because my clients really do enjoy seeing all these different facets of themselves as an entire human being, right? And this, like the shirt, exactly, right? Feel the feelings. So, so I started to develop a very like unique kind of client journey so that you really are building all of this trust in yourself and your and a sense of yourself before we walk into the session, because it's going to give us more of a purpose. And like, why are you here? What is it that you want to see more of? What do you want to be more of? How can I help you get there or get closer to there? So that all became part of that, and it's just developed further and further over the years. So what we do, and rewind real fast, is I was also, before this client contacted me, I had my first boudoir shoot done. Now, and then I think I had three of them in about a year and a half, maybe. Welcome to the bug. When you catch the bug, it just like, it became such a tool for me in figuring out who I was at that moment in time, and really just being in myself. And like, because of what had happened with my husband passing away and everything, I felt like I had, and also losing like that version, I had to mourn that version of my business also, and that whole version of my life. And really just being able to be in myself, minus any of the other roles that now were not applicable to me, right? So a lot of things shifted. And so it was a key part of my healing and finding myself again and just being able to now I got it going on. Also being able to put myself out there and date or Tinder or whatever the fuck, all of those things. It was an opportunity, it gave me opportunities to see the opportunities and to live. And so I just found it was an incredibly powerful tool for myself. And then, I was a little bit intimidated getting into it. So then now fast forward to this client, Kathy, who came to me and was like, I want you to do this for me. I was like, okay, well, I have a little bit, I got some ideas, but I wasn't really, I just kind of dove in and she trusted me, which was amazing. And I'm very grateful for her. So then I was shooting kind of, a little bit more in I would say traditional or conventional kind of boudoir kind of style. And I was still getting personality shots and stuff like that, but I really I knew that there was something else I wanted and I couldn't quite put a finger on it because I really wanted that the chasing the moments, because that is really truly I'm a junkie for it, for being honest. I die for that stuff. I will jump across, I will run across the street and probably not look where I'm going to get that moment. There were times that when I was traveling where I would stand at a corner and I just get in touch with my intuition and my gut. And I just feel I feel like something's unfolding here. And I'd stand there for 20 minutes and wait for that moment to present itself. And I never knew what it was going to be. I just had a feeling something was going to happen. And I just wanted to chase that. Also made me feel really alive, which was really want more of that. It was fun. And I love it. I still love travel photography so much. So that's what I was really wanting to see and discover in doing boudoir. And I didn't know how I was going to make that happen. I could definitely get into personality shots and get you laughing and dancing and da-da-da-da. But it was a lot of work for me. And it was a lot of work for my clients sometimes. And so then fast forward, I was doing boudoir for a few years and then COVID, everything was weird during COVID. And we moved across country also. So I had been in San Diego for years and had my business there. And then we moved to Michigan. Also before I picked up a Michigander in San Diego and he's from here and we moved here because he wanted to come back this way and I was like, sure, I'm up for an adventure. I did remarry and he's a wonderful support in my life and we have a lot of fun. We have a great relationship and I'm very grateful for him. So during COVID, I ended up discovering this style of coaching that I do with my clients. And the first time I saw my mentor, Denise, talk about it online, I had a friend who had forwarded it to me and she's like, I feel like you're one of those feel your feelings people. I feel like this is going to be your jam. And I'm so glad she shared that with me. Actually, this person who shot pods of my elopement in Hell, Michigan during COVID. She's like, yeah, I think you're just going to love this. And so I'm on my first webinar with Denise talking about it. And I'm just in tears. I'm bawling. And I was like, oh my God, this is I felt like my entire soul, it was being torn out of my chest. I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. I need this in my life. I need this in my life. I don't care how much it costs. I'm doing it and I'm doing it hard. And I went balls to the wall. I started this in beginning or spring of 2021. I've only been doing it for 4 years and I'm a master student in it. I go and help Denise at workshops. I help her teach other photographers, or help them. I give them critique, I give them feedback, I give them pointers, or we do a whole thing there. But because I loved it. I was just oh my gosh, I cannot get enough of this because it is truly powerful and amazing. And like, you can hear the difference in my voice when I start talking about this, right? Like, I just like it, I can nerd out about this for days because I've seen the difference it makes. The difference in my work is night and day before starting this. And it's just never going to be the same. Like, it's always, every session is different because what it is the art of motion is based in the neural pathways of the mind. So it's that combination of, and if you tuned into the live the other day, I talk about it a little bit in there, but it is the combination of body language and breathing and facial expressions that come together and start firing your synapses. Like, you know, like as soon as you get into the pleasure arch, the brain's going like, oh yeah, that feels good. Like, that's already priming the brain. And you're like, actually, and then like, you know, then the breathing comes in that I teach you, like, and it's just that release. And then the facial expressions and all these things like cross over and like start firing all those synapses up there. So you're actually genuinely feeling and experiencing this, like, because you've got all that like serotonin going on, all that good stuff. And it's incredible. And the coolest thing about it is that I get to pull all of these little things, pull these little threads out of you. And the focus is not on that perfect picture of your ass, even though I'm going to get that for you. The focus is truly about reflecting who you are as a human being back to you so you can see what everybody else sees. Because I can see it when you walk in the door. One of my superpowers. But I'm coaxing this out of you. And the way that I do it is just like, it was, again, like being able to consistently do that for people in unique ways and not make it so hard for you. Because self-reflection and self-work can be kind of hard sometimes, right? Like, any of us have been doing that kind of work, So like, this is different though. And we create beautiful art together. It's meaningful. And we're exploring, it's not just all deer in the headlight, pursed lips. You can see even also when I post pictures of like big confidence and stuff, mouth is closed because we want to see life. So we're exploring this full spectrum of who you are as a human being. And it's like joy and coy playfulness and confidence and desire and pleasure and just being in ourselves and the vulnerability. And like we explore like a little voyeuristic kind of spin on things, like those like little hidden places. And I just fucking love it so much. And since I started shooting like this, there's not one day that I step to the studio and I'm not excited to see what we're going to create, because it is that dynamic, organic, and powerful. And the cool thing is, at the end of the day, first of all, you're going to like love way more photos than you ever thought you would ever like of yourself. Like, I know people say it all the time to me. They're like, there's no way I'm going to like more than 3 photos. And I'm like, well, you haven't been photographed this way and by me. So we're going to change your opinion about that. There's a reason that most of my clients order between like 40 and 70 images. Because we get to see so much of ourselves. And I know this also because like, I'm not going to let myself be photographed by somebody at this point in time who does not photograph in this style, because I have been, and also I want to experience what my clients get to experience. And the cool thing about this is, because you're experiencing it in your body and like truly experiencing it, not just like popping from one pose to the next. Let's see. No, you're not even going to see that in regular boudoir because I teach you that shit. But yeah, like we're not just like putting on a little hat and pretending to be something for the day, which sometimes posing can feel like. And there's that shift, like, okay, that picture made me look like a badass versus, oh wait, I am a badass. Because you've experienced it in your body, your brain believes what we tell it to, right? Your brain believes what you tell it to. And so if you're experiencing that in your body and you're like, all that breath and the look and the body movement, all of those things are going to stick with you, because now you're going to leave the studio at the end of the day and it's going to like, that it's in you because we pulled it out and then you got to see it. Like I'm going to show you a little sneak peeks on the back of the camera. But then when you see your photos, when we get together for your reveal ordering session, then there's like further evidence to your brain that, oh wait, yeah, I am this. I have been feeling like that since the shoot. Huh, okay. Oh, I remember that moment. I know what that felt like. I've had people pause during the reveal ordering session and be like, wait, can you go back one? And she started doing the breathing that we did during the session and legitimately like put herself back in that same place and connected with it and with herself again. And I was like, fuck, that's powerful. That's amazing. I mean, I do it all the time. If you guys saw the selfie, if you didn't watch the selfie video, go back and watch the selfie video. But, and then look at the selfies. And, yeah, I felt really good doing that, coaching myself, which is a little bit more challenging. Because just being in my body, I know the difference of how that feels too. I was like, oh, I need to be doing this more often. This is part of my self-care practice. And I know that. So, yeah, just really deeply like allowing yourself that openness is just so powerful. And so this is why I am so passionate about it, because I get to see how it changes how you feel about yourself and like in your entire being. And I get to see it stick with you. I get to see you continue to level up. Like I have clients this year, like they're coming back for their 4th session. Like that's fucking rad and amazing. And I'm so incredibly grateful that I get to be on this journey with so many people and they want to come back and just kind of keep digging in and going deeper. So my therapist calls this boudoir therapy. So and it really can be an amazing tool. And that's what I get so pumped about, sharing this with people. And sometimes I don't find all the right words to even explain it and give it the justice it deserves, because it is really truly powerful and awesome. And, I mean, a lot of times my clients use better words than I do to talk about it. That's why I'm like, always like, go read the reviews. Because it sticks with people and they feel different. And like, you know, sometimes people go on and like, after their session here, they're like, you know, sometimes they might get out of a situation that's not making them happy because they know now, like, have a better sense of worth and that they deserve better. Or people going and asking for big jobs and like raises and promotions. Like these are or like I had another client who, she had, oh gosh, I have so many amazing stories because my clients inspire me all the time. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm the luckiest girl in the world to be able to do this and hold this space with people because I love it so much. Because I love people and I love people's stories and like just really sitting in that space with them and like understanding what makes them tick. And then in the process, we create rad art. Like, please pinch me. I can't believe I get to do this for a living. Like I'm so honored to do it. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so verklempt about stories today. Because as soon as I started to say stories, then like 500 instances of incredible stories popped into my head. So, yeah, like when we talk about like leaving the studio and feeling different and walking the planet differently. And I had a client who used to be like a really avid jogger, and she like had stopped jogging because she had just kind of really lost all of her self-confidence and was like feeling like it was like kind of that insecurity of like, you know, people are watching me, I'm not doing as good as I used to or as well as I used to, or whatever, you know, these things that we tell ourselves. And she messaged me the day after our session and she's like, I just went out for my first jogging, running event in like the first time in a couple years. And she's like, and I was like holding my head really high. She's like, I looked at every single person in the eye when I ran by. And she was like, I was just taking up all my space and felt so good. I felt like myself again. I was like, God, that's rad. That's amazing. It's amazing. I've had people who message me and they have scars that they were uncomfortable with. And after doing this session, they're messaging me the next week and they're saying like, oh my gosh, I just wore a bikini for the first time in 10 years. And I don't care if anybody's looking at me because I feel good in it. So, I mean, honestly, the stories go on and on and on and on and on, of just how rad my clients are and how they just like show up for themselves. So that is the long version. I talked for half an hour. For those of you still here, thanks. But yeah, if you really want to get to know me, there you go. Oh, hi Miranda, thanks for popping in. You should check it on the replay because I talked a lot before you showed up. Yeah, but those are some of the reasons that I'm so passionate about it. And it's made a big difference in my life, both as a recipient of boudoir photography and as somebody who gets to create this for you as my purpose and my art. Awesome. Thanks. You're so good about showing up and saying hi. I super appreciate it. Because otherwise I'm just sitting here talking to my iPhone, which feels really weird. We're working on that, Betsy. Betsy's working on that space. Yeah, so hopefully that gave you a little insight as to why I'm so incredibly passionate about this work and creating art with meaning and helping you on your journey. I love all those things. All of them. Love them all. And I'm grateful for every single fucking day I get to do this. Also, if you haven't figured out, I drop a lot of F-bombs. So if that offends you and you're booking a session with me, please let us know. So I'll try to not drop so many F-bombs the day of your session if it makes you uncomfortable. But as I like to say, I speak in cursive. So let me know if you have any questions. And I'm sorry Facebook sucks at notifying everybody when lives are on. It's annoying. Hi, Samantha. I see that you showed up too. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to watch the replay, hon, because I talked for like the last half hour. So if you want some real insight why I love doing this work, you'll learn all kinds of things about me. And yeah, so have a beautiful, oh my gosh, it's only still Monday, isn't it? Have a beautiful Monday and go out there and do good things, make yourself feel happy. Make other people feel good around you. Pay a compliment to somebody today. And say something nice to yourself today, too. Okay. Happy Monday, ladies. Thanks for showing up. Love you all. Thanks for being here. Bye.